Picture someone who has everything they once wanted: financial security, recognition, comfort. And yet beneath the surface there is restlessness, a constant hum of anxiety, a quiet fear of losing it all. This is not failure. It is a misunderstanding of wealth. Here's the question ancient philosophers asked that modern culture avoids. What is the point of success if it does not bring inner peace? The Stoics lived in worlds far more unstable than ours: plagues, exile, political collapse, sudden loss. And yet they pursued wealth without worshiping it. They sought success without tying their nervous system to it. To them, money was a tool, not an identity. Power was internal, not external. Modern neuroscience now echoes this wisdom. The brain experiences peace not when conditions are perfect, but when expectations and reality align. When inner stability is strong, outer fluctuations lose their grip. In this final video in the series, we will explore how Stoic philosophy approached wealth in a way that created freedom instead of fear. You will learn why chasing more often increases anxiety, why detachment is not indifference, and how true success was defined by what could not be taken away. Stay until the end, because this perspective does not just change how you think about money, it changes how your body relates to life itself. This is not about rejecting ambition. It's about mastering it. Quietly, intelligently, permanently. Let's begin. Wealth without attachment. The Stoics never argued against wealth. They argued against dependence. To them, the danger was not money itself, but the belief that safety lived inside it. The moment wealth becomes your emotional regulator, you surrender sovereignty. Your mood rises and falls with markets, approval, and circumstance. This is why Stoic philosophers practiced voluntary simplicity, not as punishment, but as training. By occasionally living with less, they taught the nervous system a radical lesson. I am safe even without excess. That lesson created freedom. Modern psychology confirms this. Security is not created by accumulation, but by perceived coping ability. When the brain trusts that you can handle loss, it relaxes its grip on fear. Wealth then becomes additive, not compensatory. This reframes success completely. Stoic wealth is not measured by how much you gain, but by how little power loss has over you. The person who needs little is harder to control than the person who has much. Ask yourself honestly, if everything external were stripped away, what would remain intact inside you? This question is not hypothetical. It reveals where your true wealth lives. If this insight feels grounding, pause here. Let it settle. Detachment is not coldness, it is emotional independence. And independence is the foundation of any success that lasts. Control, focus, and the end of anxiety. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a simple distinction. What is within your control and what is not? Wealth becomes destabilizing when people attempt to control outcomes instead of actions. Markets fluctuate. Opportunities disappear. Recognition fades. When identity is tied to results, anxiety becomes inevitable. The Stoics trained attention instead. Effort, integrity, preparation, response. These were the true currencies of success. Everything else was treated as weather. Neuroscience aligns with this precisely. Anxiety increases when the brain fixates on uncontrollable variables. Calm emerges when focus narrows to what can be influenced. This is not resignation. It is strategic clarity. Imagine building success without emotional reactivity, without panic at setbacks, without euphoria at gains. This is not numbness, it is regulation. Stoic wealth is grounded, quiet, durable. It does not demand constant stimulation to feel alive. This is why Stoics were able to hold power, money, and responsibility without collapse. Their nervous systems were not entangled with outcomes. If this perspective feels unfamiliar, that's because modern culture profits from dysregulation. Calm people are harder to manipulate. It's harder to sell fear to people who are content. True success then becomes an act of quiet rebellion. Becoming unshakable. Unshakable does not mean unaffected. It means integrated. Stoic wealth is built from inner consistency. Values that do not shift under pressure. Identity that does not fracture under loss. Presence that does not vanish under stress. This kind of success grows slowly, but it compounds forever. The Stoics believed that peace was not a reward for achievement. It was the condition that made achievement sustainable. When the nervous system is calm, perception sharpens. Decisions improve. Relationships stabilize. Wealth becomes a byproduct of clarity rather than compensation for chaos. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if success didn't have to prove anything? That question dismantles years of pressure. True wealth allows you to move through the world without constant defense, without needing to win every comparison, without fearing the future. This is not passive living. It is disciplined simplicity. And once internal stability is established, external success often follows naturally, not because it's chased, but because it's no longer resisted. The quiet definition of success. So here's the Stoic definition of wealth. To want nothing that controls you, to fear nothing that can be taken away, to act with clarity regardless of outcome. This is success that does not collapse. This is wealth that does not demand your nervous system as payment. Across this series, you learned that effort alone is not enough, that beliefs shape outcomes, that the nervous system sets limits, And now finally you see what lies beyond those limits. Sovereignty. If this series helped you see money, success, or yourself differently, sit with that. You don't need to rush. Integration happens quietly. And if you feel called to share, leave a comment answering this final question. What does success mean to you now? Luminous Soul exists for this reason, not to push you toward more, but to guide you back to what cannot be lost. Walk gently. Build wisely. And remember, the most powerful success is the one that leaves you at peace.